Welcome to my channel Mumus Art. Today we are going to talk about gouache techniques. As you know, gouache is a water-based paint. First I draw everything clearly and I prepared everything. I have 2 jars of water, which one of them will be remaining just clear. And I'm having a tape, but this is a special tape. This is what we call as the brand is Scotch, but the important thing is that this is a removable type of band. They have 2 different availabilities. One is green, one is blue, but what I use is the blue one, and it's written as removable so that you can take it off from your paper, or even if you paint something you can put it on top, and when you remove it it's not damaging anywhere. So first I'm pushing it and preparing it. And I'm using a glass jar. Here I'm using magenta red and lemon yellow to be able to get orange. I'm using the glass jar. They are very convenient because you can keep gouache in this one without getting dried at all, and clean it and close it. Now I'm using the sticks that you can find, like the coffee sticks. If I need more, of course you don't need to open and close every second, but I try to show it so that you can understand how important it is, otherwise they will get dry. But put little bit of water, just 2 drops for example, and what we try to get is a pudding type of paint. It should not be too much watery, it should not be too much dry. And I clean it so that, because otherwise it will be a mess when you try to open it. So now I'm using a flat brush because I'm using it like I'm doing a wall painting. Never go too deep with your brush, always make it halfway. And I try it. Nice. We don't want this. This is too watery. And I always use a paper napkin around me. It's always much more easier. This also we don't want it. So never use something out of the jar. Still put a little bit drop of water and make it, then put it on your drawings. Here I checked. Now I'm using a horizontal wash. And I'm trying to make it in a very harmonious way and homogeneous way. And then even in a minute it's going to dry, but meanwhile if you have something to do, close it and you can check the color by the lower parts. Never leave your brush in water, otherwise its bristles will get damaged. Now I'm going to take it. Don't put too much water. Be careful about it. Try it. And now it's okay. So now I'm using vertical lines. But I'm trying to make it in a way that at the end we don't want any strokes to be shown. Always go from the edge to edge. Don't mess it in between. You can go 2 layers, but don't go more than 3 layers. It becomes too thick, and when you take the band off, it's not going to be in a very good way. You understand it when you touch it. If it is dry, it's okay. And it's something for the ladies. Ladies, if you want to do this with your fingernails, be sure that you don't have anything on yours, otherwise it's going to give lines around you. So now everything is clean and clear, because I tried to make a color wheel here. So now I'm going to get green. Oops, I dropped it. In order to get green, you need to use cyan, blue and lemon yellow. The idea is that whenever you want to do color wheel, the primary colors should be the correct colors. Otherwise, your whole color wheel will become wrong. Namely, they are lemon yellow, cyan blue, and magenta red. And these are the things you have to do when you need to clean your brush under sink. If you need to do, put little bit of water and little bit of white soap. But for now, you can continue like this. I just wanted to show. And another advice for the color wheel doers is that always start with the light colors like yellows first. Here now, the paint form is not, we cannot give some references like put half blue, half yellow. No, it's not about the amounts too much. We need to put little bit of drop of water so that you can muddle it. And then you need to check it with your eyes. The measurement doesn't apply like 1 gram this one, 1 gram this one, because some colors are more dominant and some of them are you need to put more. Like here now, what we aim is a good green. The secondary colors are always important to make. And if you need, yeah, you can make it. But as you see, I'm using different sticks so that I can keep the paints in their jars in a clean way. And then I'm cleaning it with the humid paper towel and then clean it. Otherwise, it's getting very difficult to take the cap off and that will be problematic. Again, I'm trying. If you try in the same paper quality, it's always much better, but if they are similar, it's also okay. I'm not pushing, like I'm putting my fingernail as a reference, as a finger in, like to touch barely. But generally speaking, I try to make the strokes not very obvious at all. So I'm using them a little bit on the air, my brush. Now, the third secondary color is purple. So what I do now is that I'm putting magenta red, which is a very pinkish red, by the way. I'm going to take some blue and I'm going to mix them. When you try to make your color wheels, always make it in the day, not at night. At night, all the colors are looking completely different. And I'm always putting little bit of drop of water and I'm checking. Let's not forget that we are going to make two different purples on the color wheel. One should be more red in it, one should be more blue in it. So this one should be a good stable purple. This is what we need to do. As I said before, yes, you are just making everything by your eyes, but you can prepare them and then you can compare them. So never, like first prepare all of the colors you need and then start painting. Here now, because I'm trying to show what to do, I'm doing both of them at the same time. And don't forget that maybe on the color wheel, if there are some colors, color schemes, maybe you need some colors more than the other ones, so you need to prepare the amount accordingly. For this reason, my advice is that first make some trials, and you don't need too much of them anyway, because these are very effective paints and it covers highly. But as you can see, you need to work tidy and neat and be careful all the time. Like I'm not digging my brush off, and then because of that removable band, as you see, I put half of it on the green and it's not damaging. This way I can work very easy. That green as a secondary color could have been a little bit darker. For me, it looks a little bit yellowish. But I also advise that check about your colors when they get dried. take 1 or 2 minutes, then you will see that they will get a little bit, how can I say, darkened. But the idea is that always make 2 different directions when you are making it. One is horizontal, one is vertical, so that you make it without any strokes showing. I'm doing everything very fast here now, and it's still not dry. When I turn the paper, you see some shine. This means it's not dry yet, but you can, yes, take it off anyway. Be careful about your fingernails. And we finished these. Now this is something what we can call, like, these are the secondary colors. Be careful, yes, they split. Today I'm putting everything on the floor, unfortunately. So here now what I try to do is a neutral color. A neutral color is, we are using 2 complementary color on the color wheel. In this case, we prepare the purple and the yellow together. Or you can do it like I do. You don't need to use that purple. You know that in purple there is red and there is blue. And you can mix them separately as well. Maybe if the purple is insufficient, you can do it like that. And if I put the yellow more, I get a different result. If I put the blue more, I mean the purple more, let's say, it's going to be another result. And I'm mixing it. These colors are neutralizing each other out. They cancel each other out. Like red and green, orange and blue. If you mix them, you get the earth tones, like some green to brown colors. Like I put a lot of yellow here, as you can see. Now what I get is something like a khaki color. And take these type of things off if necessary. When it is wet, you can handle them. If they get dry, you cannot never take it off. You can wait for the second layer to after the first layer has been dried. Generally, it is a much more better way to do it. And as you see, I'm just cleaning my brush on the clean jar as well. I'm trying to make the video as fast as possible. And here you have, now I get a green. Now I try to get a tint. For the tints, you don't need to prepare them in the jars. And I'm using that white. It looks a little bit bad, as you see. It's not very smooth. I especially show it to you so that you can understand. Generally, gouache is not getting bad. Sometimes it becomes a little bit less homogeneous, but little bit water, you can still work on it and you can make it completely okay. So what we call tint is, if we add white to any color, we are getting a tint hue. So pink is the only color that has a different color name, which is a derivation of red, but normally we have to say that tint of red. No, there is a special name called pink. And because the white make the paint much more opaque, you are going to see that the coverage quality is also getting higher when we are talking about tints. Be careful about when you are adding the water. Take it just little drop by drop. Don't put too much, otherwise you have to add so much paint to be able to make it. And be careful about not putting all the way. Sometimes, yeah, for example, this is a little bit of more whitish level. But I'm using my finger to stay on top of the line. Until so far, we made these. And don't damage the paper when you are doing it, of course. Especially when you are doing geometric shapes, to use these bands is a very logical thing, as you understand. And you need to change the water when you are changing the color. And you need to clean your brush at the same time. Now, if you add a little bit black to already mixed tint, now what we had red, white and black. So this is what I call as tone. So when you are adding gray to any color, it becomes a tone. And you will see that it will become a little bit like purplish. I will try to show it to you. So the reactions of the colors are very interesting things. That's why you need to mix them by yourself so that you understand them much better. Now you can understand it much easier, I believe. Ah, yes. If you do this one, be extra careful because the first layer and second layer may have problem. If you want to do the in our color scheme we are making, we don't have the tones, but we have the tints and shades. So to make tint, you add white to that color. To be able to make the shade, you need to add black to the color itself. Never ever you should be working all of them together. Now, there's an interesting effect about the black, especially when you are applying red, it becomes less consistent. And be careful, there are many problematic things on the palette you can easily take. Like if you take from that part when it is merged with the whitish purplish color, then the whole color will become completely wrong. And look, if I'm applying it not careful from the first time, how it goes. Like I put a little bit too much water and I'm trying to fix it, and I'm making it like a student in a hurry, and then I'm messing more and I'm working more, and all the paint become like a residue around the corners. So to avoid these, what you need to do, prepare your paper, prepare your paint, and then be careful if it's good water. I mean, if you have too much or too little, this is problematic, and sometimes you fix them, sometimes you cannot fix them. Now you see it's getting messier. And you need to wait when the layers are becoming more dried. So if you work in a careful manner, you won't have brush strokes and you are going to have much more better results. And if there is a mistake, you can wash these mistakes by water. Thank you very much for listening.